Welcome. I'm Harmony Slater, your host of the Finding Harmony podcast. Over the past 20 years, I've taught thousands of yoga teachers and students to explore the intersection between ancient wisdom and modern everyday life, using mind-body practices to heal, awaken, and manifest their dreams from the inside out. This podcast is a sanctuary for those feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges. Are you ready to jump in and discover how these challenges aren't actually in the way, but are the way to finding harmony? Let's invite the magic back in. Today, Russell and I sat down with an incredible young woman. She is the author of a book called A Survivor's Story, A Holistic Healing Journey Through Cancer. She's also a podcast host and speaker and two-time cancer survivor and truly someone who is thriving. She was diagnosed with leukemia as a young child and again faced cancer later in life as a young adult. And her experiences have transformed the way that she understands health and healing. And she's gone on to create an entire business from this awakening. And rather than viewing wellness as purely physical or something that needs to be taken care of from the outside in, she began looking at this profound connection between the mind, the body, the emotions, and our spiritual self, discovering that true healing asks us to work from the inside out, that we need to engage with the whole of who we are. And of course, as you know, this is so aligned with the work that I do and that I love, reconnecting my clients and those who come to me for spinal energetics and elemental embodiment work with the essence of their inner wisdom, with that innate intelligence and energy that's already within them, working so hard to bring about homeostasis and healing every single day. It's that same intelligence and life force that keeps the heart beating and the lungs breathing and the wounds or the cuts healing and the broken bones healing and the bruises also healing, right? It's recycling cells. It's doing so much work for us all the time and is so just taken for granted. And so today our conversation is going to talk about the bridge between science and spirituality, how integrating movement, nutrition, nervous system tools for regulation or rejuvenation, energy practices, and just becoming more conscious in how we are living helps us to step into a more holistic approach to well-being. I cannot wait for you to meet this very beautiful, lively spirit. And I hope that this conversation can become a doorway for your transformation and open up something inside of you that gets curious about what might be possible when you create the time and space in your life to do some of the deeper healing work. Hi, we're back. Welcome.
Hi, welcome to the Finding Harmony podcast. This is your host, Harmony Slater, and your co-host.
It's going to get old, you interrupting me with this all the time.
Mr. Harmony Slater is
people
my
are going to be so bored.
You kind of want to have a consistent opening.
No, you don't. It's consistent. There's an intro.
Terry Gross did this for 50 years.
And that's why no one listens to her anymore.
This is 50 years she did this. This is fresh air. She said it the same way every time. Hi, Gena, how are you?
Hi, the spelling tricks people. It's Gena with a G.
It's Gena?
Yes.
Gena with a G.
Ms. Vitale.
Yes.
Ms. Vitale?
Vitale.
Are you a relation to Dick Vitale?
No, but I get that question a lot, actually.
So sorry.
Strangely enough.
Of course you do.
I should just say yes at this point.
How tall are you?
I am 5'4".
5'4".
Yeah, but my husband is 6'6". He's tall.
Oh, well, he plays some basketball. You kind of, you're forced to at that height.
I know, yeah. Apparently he was not that good though, so.
Otherwise you'd be in the NBA.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sure we'd all be in the NBA if we were better. Yeah.
Well, you have an amazing story, Gena. So tell us a little bit about how you got into this work. Like, what was your sort of like calling into working with people and like the human,
What sort of work do you do?
the
What?
human performance, holistic human performance.
Holistic human performance.
That's
Well,
what I
let
was
her
going
answer the
for.
question, sweetie.
Yes,
That's
yes.
our job as interviewers.
Yes. So, long story short, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and that pretty much set the tone for unknowingly where I would be going in life. And honestly, if you asked me this question maybe probably like 8 years ago in the energy medicine, spirituality, mindset space, I would be like, "What are you talking about? No way." I would actually like laugh at you. So it's pretty interesting how kind of just, we go through adversity and challenges in our life. And honestly, it was a spiritual awakening, which happens many times, but it was a big pivot in my life. My background is exercise science. I was in the fitness industry, personal training, nutrition, and I've always known from the time I was 10, I would not be sitting behind a desk. I just knew that. And I'm grateful that I listened to my intuition and followed that. And I just kind of let that take the lead to where I'm at today. And fast forward, I was in college and I went into the health center. I was running track and field, finishing up my junior year, and I had a migraine. So I went to the health center and she's feeling my sinuses, gets down to my throat, and her face completely changed. And I was like, what? What is that face there?
Dear.
And she's like, I don't
Yeah.
like what I'm feeling by your thyroid. I'm like, what does that even mean?
What
And
is a thyroid?
yeah, what is that? And she's like, you're gonna need to go see an ENT like tomorrow. So I'm in college, right? I'm like, all right, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. So lo and behold, went through all of that. Turns out I had a 4.3 centimeter nodule on the left side of my thyroid. And through that experience is what opened up the door to, we know that the foundations of health and wellness are there: fitness, nutrition, sleep, stress
Community.
management, community. We know that the foundations are there, but it opened up the door to another realm of Eastern medicine, energy healing, sound healing, frequency medicine, all these things that you're not really taught while you're growing up, unless you grow up in a family that you're exposed to that or circumstances. And that kind of prompted me to really take a deep dive into just learning and, most importantly, integrating, which I think is the missing piece and the puzzle, the integration piece. So knowledge is power to a point, but then it's like, all right, what do you do with it? So then I started to experiment and really like integrate that into my own life, because I sat here thinking, all right, I'm healthy, I work out, I eat right, I live mostly a holistic lifestyle. What's the deal here? And how could I be diagnosed at, I'm 20 years old and I've gone through cancer twice. Like, how does that even happen? And that question alone is what opened up the doors to this realm of metaphysical spirituality and personal development. And really, what does it take to become the best version of you and optimize your health and well-being? And so, long story short, that's what opened up the floodgates to where I'm at today.
Do you feel like you do have an idea of why you have cancer twice? Because it seems like that's the question that started you on this path. But do you feel like you have an answer?
Yes. So, if we're gonna get super woo woo, I think
That's the show.
yes, which I love. I believe so. At 3.5, I was diagnosed with leukemia. I do feel there was a connection to past lives, ancestral karmic cycles. And I did go see this woman who was a medium. She's no longer with us. And I went for like an energy healing, and she was like, the first time around, that was a lesson for your family and changing the game for that. And then the second time around, trauma. We talk about the throat chakra, that's expressing your truth, communicating, being vulnerable. I did not go to therapy. I did not know what was up, down, left, right. I did not know any of that. And that's okay. You don't know what you don't know. And that was part of my journey. And so I believe that the second time around was really a lesson. It was a lesson for me to learn to share my wisdom, my experience, my story, my truth, and open me up to this world of we don't need to be stuck in survival mode. I was stuck in survival mode and I didn't even know it. It was completely just subconscious.
From when you had leukemia, you think you stayed in a kind of trauma cycle?
I think so. It just, I was getting migraines at a young age. I had really bad acne up until a certain point. Just like all of these things that you learn about and you kind of connect the pieces and you're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense there. Do I blame myself? No. Do I think that, I was holding on to the body keeps the score. And so when you're holding on to some big T trauma and you don't know how to express that emotional intelligence, you don't know how to express that, it really does open up the floodgates to disease, lack of flow in the body. And I was always spiritual in nature, but in terms of integrating the spiritual practices like meditation, breath work, all the things that help your nervous system to regulate and get you out of that trauma survival state, I wasn't doing those things, and I was utilizing exercise as like the only outlet, if that makes sense. And then I kind of, and then I found energy healers and was reading metaphysical books and Louise Hay, love. Opened that up for me. Dr. Wayne Dyer, all of these different amazing spiritual leaders. I'm like, oh, all of these things are beginning to kind of connect. Okay.
I'm just interested. You strike me as someone who's very high achieving and you've got a real high motor. And I wonder if you feel like that was an element to what was going on for you, that maybe you hadn't stopped to smell the flowers at any point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You do.
I think that's a trauma response, to be honest with you. I think high achievers, if you don't have, and listen, everybody has like an energetic archetype, I believe. And, I played sports my whole life. I was very much living in a masculine energy and was not connected to my feminine energy and did not know how to integrate and flow between the two, which is so profound when you learn. It is the existence of everything. And yes, I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
What do you think really was the first sort of awareness of this? What was the thing that really helped you kind of recognize oh, I'm not in balance here and this is deeper than just a physical problem?
Yeah. I can say two instances. The first instance was when I was going through finding a surgeon to get the thyroid surgery. And I remember seeing two different, I've always had a really sharp intuition, but it's a matter of trusting it and actually listening to it. And so I remember interviewing these two different doctors and surgeons. And the first one, I remember immediately just analyzing his presence and my body was just no, not going to him. And the more he spoke, he was like, we're going to take out the whole thyroid and, we're going to do radioactive iodine. You're still young, all these things. And I'm like, no, I want to have children. I'm not doing that. Is there another protocol? And he said, no. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to see another doctor.
Other doctors.
Yeah, I'm going to see another doctor. And he asked me who I was going to see. And ironically enough, the doctor who ended up doing the surgery is somebody who he studied under. And
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so went to go see this other doctor, very conservative in nature. He's like, you're young. We don't even know if it's cancer or not, but it still needs to come out because it's a large nodule. We're going to take out half, no radioactive iodine. You can function on 1/3 of your thyroid. If you take care of yourself, you don't need medication. Obviously, we need to see kind of how everything goes when I go in there. And I immediately was like, yeah, this is the guy. This is it. So that right there is one instance that comes to mind, because the connection to your intuition and actually listening and trusting your body, because who knows what would have happened if I had, gone the other direction. And then the second instance was in 2020, right before all hell broke loose here on Earth. And I was going to just a regular checkup, ultrasound, blood work, and it didn't go as planned. They were like, we see something, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't confirm nor deny it because you're just going to get a checkup. And I lost it. I completely lost it, hysterically crying. I was hyperventilating, complete trauma response, obviously.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving the appointment and sitting in my car. And all of a sudden, I get this wave of just like peace wash over me. And then I get this message in my mind that's like, you're going to write a book on this one day. And I was like, and I have chills, like even saying that. I was like, what? What? Like, what a weird message to get in this like adverse time when I'm totally losing it. And it always echoed in my mind after that. I never forgot about it. And then I've always been involved in the cancer community, nonprofit organizations, speaking about like holistic practices and things of that nature. And I remember pitching to be a presenter for one of their events. And I remember it was all about how holistic health and meditation changed the game for me. And they rejected it. And then I remember sitting there looking at my presentation, and I was looking at the slides. I'm like, oh my God, these are the chapters to my book. And that is what prompted, I wrote my first book right after that. I literally went into like automatic writing mode before I even knew what automatic writing was. And that was always a skill that I really leaned into. When I couldn't express my emotions, I always would write. And I leaned into that and I didn't stop. And so I published my first book in 2021 called A Survivor's Story, A Holistic Healing Journey Through Cancer. And from there, even after that, I had this like, I'm sure you can resonate with this feeling of like, I'm still not fully fulfilled. Like, I feel like there's more here. There's more to this. And
that doesn't stop.
Yeah, that doesn't stop. Yeah, there's always. And then I founded Holistic Human Performance in 2022 after that and haven't stopped since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, how do you work with people? Like, what kind of people are coming to you and how are you working with them?
Yeah. So pretty much I created a methodology, and I always get the question of what is holistic health actually, right? What is that and how does it intertwine into spirituality, right? Science and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. That is what I found on my journey. And holistic health is the interconnection between mind, body, and soul. But I like to break that up into 5 different buckets: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and one we forget about, energetic. And the way that I work with people is the bucket theory. Which one of those buckets are overflowing, empty, or just right, even keeled? And that is pretty much where I start with people. And so, funny you mentioned overachieving, because I see a lot of overachievers, a lot of former perfectionists, a lot of individuals who are searching for more. They know that they're meant for more.
Wait. I'm sorry. Did you say former perfectionists? That's like getting malaria. That doesn't go away. You can keep that in remission, but you keep that forever. Perfectionists in remission.
Perfectionists in remission, yes. I was originally working with people who were in survivorship of cancer, and then listening to your intuition and following those little nudges, it was like, no, we're going to expand on this. That's not like all you are, and releasing the identity of being a survivor. There's more to this, and helping people so they don't get to that point where they are being diagnosed with cancer or any form of disease, really. And what I found along the way is health and purpose are directly correlated. You cannot have one without the other. And the more, think about it, right? When you're feeling unfulfilled, you feel like garbage. You're like, I just don't know who I am. I don't feel good, whether it be mental, physical, emotional afflictions. And so that's how I help other people on their journey. And so we start off with those 5 buckets to see where they land. And then from there, we kind of open it up. So it's not overwhelming because it can be life transformation can be very overwhelming. And that's why I think a lot of people are like, I don't want to feel all that. I don't want to open up the can of worms. I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. But I really implore people to ask the question, like, are you happy with where you're at? Do you feel like you're on this path of where you're meant to be? And if not, you need to take a look at that, because we all have gifts to share with the world, and it's our responsibility to do that.
Your story is really fascinating to me. I had plastic surgery on my face after an accident, and I had a surgery to remove a tumor out of my skull when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Turned out to be benign. What really is interesting about your story is it reminds me that I didn't feel like I had any kind of emotional reaction to those things at the time. I just saw all that stuff happen as a kid. It's like, oh, I'm on Demerol right now. That's interesting. Okay. And then I'm waking up and they're unwrapping bandages off my face. Like, that's interesting. Okay. But it seemed like it was when I encountered something deep in my life, like emotionally shifting, whether it was a new relationship or someone wanted something from me in a relationship that I didn't know how to provide. Maybe it was a transition in life from one job to the next with different expectations. Does that resonate with you? Do you feel like the stuff comes up that story comes up in completely out of context situations for you?
Absolutely. And also when you go through childhood stuff like that, you kind of assume that all the other children are going through it. You're like, oh yeah, like we all do this, right? Like, we don't know any
It's
better.
just normal.
Totally normal
Stuff.
And then you go through life, and like you said, you have these pivotal shifts where they like really hit you deep, and then you have to take a look, and you're like, whoa, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on here? And you have to ask yourself these questions of, wait, did that happen to me? Like, is that normal?
Yeah.
You know, who do I go talk to?
Who is there to talk to about it? Like, even if you have like you said in your car, you had this spiritually emergent situation. In Brazil, they have specialists for spiritual emergence. We don't have that. Like, you may be able to talk to your priest about the revelation that you had, but not on your acid trip, and not about some, like, they're just not really that prepared to talk about these experiences.
I think that's where like having a coach can really come in and be helpful, because a lot of coaches, especially probably in the work that you're trained in too, it's similar to the work that I'm trained in. You're looking at all of these aspects of life, like the unconscious, the behavioral, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and you're looking at the full holistic picture and using tools like somatic awareness or, EFT tapping, breath work, energy healing. Like, there's a whole sort of range of tools to bring to someone's situation to help them integrate. And I think the coaching industry is so profound that way, because it's not about like diagnosing people with sort of a therapeutic problem. You're working with high functioning individuals who are having a spiritual emergence or some kind of awareness or personal sort of crisis.
Becomes an emergency if you're not dealing with it.
But that it's not, they're still functioning. They're not dealing with heavy duty addiction or depression or, been mandated for therapy. They're themselves seeking to go from like good or okay to great or amazing. And when you make that kind of choice for yourself, like, oh, things are okay, or things, are status quo, or they're a little bit maybe less great than I would like them to be, but they're not terrible, right? And you make that kind of choice to commit to yourself to say, actually, I want to live a fucking amazing life, not just like an okay life, right? And you're willing to invest. I mean, it's like a shift in your energy, because now you're saying, instead of investing in something outside of myself, like a new car or a new house or, a $5,000 purse or like whatever.
Another boyfriend.
Yeah, new husband. like whatever bullshit thing you think is going to make you feel better, you start going, oh, I'm going to invest in myself to feel better. I'm going to invest in my own personal transformation because no fucking $5,000 purse is going to do the trick, right? That's like a real big shift in committing to yourself. And you can't just do it by yourself in a weird way.
We're not meant to.
Yeah.
Can I just interject for a second and say that the Bally bag that I acquired was like the most spiritually fulfilling purchase that I've ever made. And it really did. It became a part of it. But I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I mean, so like those things.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually had a Coach bag in your... It's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't heal you though. It doesn't like fix the hole inside your heart. It's still there.
No, you put the hole in the bag. That's where the hole goes. You open it up, there's the hole, you put it, and then you close it, and you go, back to what you were doing.
But so are those the kind of clients that are coming to you?
Yeah.
So like people who are like ready for that kind of change in their lives?
I mean, you have to be open and you have to be ready or I'm not your girl because we can't sit here and force you to, you could lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it. That's just what it is. And, those individuals, and actually I'll use an example of the other day, I started with a new client and she had been carrying this deep secret and just like big T trauma that happened to her in childhood, did not tell anybody. And I'm intuitive. I do have mediumship abilities. Listen, I'm not your therapist. I'm going to be very direct when I'm in a coaching call. And I know I can, we intuitively know like how to kind of bring that out. But I asked her the question. I was like, hey, did XYZ happen to you? And she was like, yeah. And she's like, I've never told anybody that. And I'm like, we need to work on that because you're going to feel so much better when we start to, sure, did we open up a can of worms? But we have the tools to work with it and to deal with it. And after we did our session, and I combine coaching with the energetic healing tools because again, the integration piece, I think talk therapy is great, fantastic, but then what? Are you just going to spiral after the session? You know what I mean? So this is where the body work comes in, and it's profound work. And again, if you're not open, then not your girl.
Yeah.
Did you have examples for yourself? Like, did you have like a Nona, like or a great Nona that had the touch?
No, I didn't. I'm definitely the cycle breaker, black sheep. Not that I'm aware of, at least. I went to Catholic school my whole life. So spiritual in the sense of more like religion and saints, right? Like archangels and things like that. I did have a little bit of that, but not much. It was very much kind of just shut off to like emotions, basically, and I'm the oldest of 5.
You're the oldest of 5?
Yeah. So like I had to like figure it out.
You're the boss lady. I spent a lot of time in Merrick, so I know
that's where I'm
exactly. At. You're in Merrick right now. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time in Temple Beth Am, and that was a great little hideaway for me. Merrick's wonderful, but I know that you can't express yourself adequately in Merrick, Long Island.
Yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. You know what? You get to a point, like now I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm going to do like, this is what I do. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that's what the profound work does. That's what the inner work does. If I'm shutting off my gifts, I mean, honestly, when I think about it, like I don't even know where I would be had I not leaned into this work. Like I can't even think of what a catastrophe I would be if that was the case. But yes, so like spiritual in a sense of more religion, and I went to Catholic school my whole life. So talking about, the woo-woo stuff, it was like, no, that's the devil's work. Like tarot?
It
What?
is,
That's
yeah.
devil. And then I would always be curious, and I would always be like, but why?
Yeah.
Like, why is it the devil's work? You know, what are we
Because
talking
the devil is the divine feminine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can you talk at all? I brought up your, whether you had a Nona, because what I wanted to hear more about was like kind of the lineage of spirituality or spiritual interest in your life. And now that you were a mother yourself, I wonder if you could talk about that experience.
Yes. So, you know what's interesting? My mom definitely has, I mean, we all have intuitive gifts. It's just a matter of how much you want to lean into it and train it. My mom is definitely intuitive. She definitely gets dreams. My Nonna, she definitely very empathic, very intuitive as well, but it's not spoken about. It wasn't trained. And this is why I'm so obsessed with the spirituality and energetics, because it was not a part of my life. Like, it was not the belief, obviously, in something greater, God. Yes, was, but in the context that we talk about, past lives and soul contracts and what your soul came here to do, those discussions were not happening. And so
Of course.
I had to figure it out on my own, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I would say on my dad's side, Protestant, so not religious.
Is Protestant another way of saying not religious?
I mean, but they didn't like those discussions.
They didn't go to church.
Yeah,
or
they didn't go to
something, yeah.
church. Those,
No, I know exactly what you mean. I was raised in Protestant country.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
like it's just
Yeah.
not a discussion, not there, no going to church, like.
Because it's not spirituality, it's obedience.
Yeah.
That's what you're taught in the Protestant church.
Yes, exactly. And when I look into my ancestral lineage on both sides, I can't say that I had examples that do what I do today, to be honest with you. I'm sure maybe further back in the lineage, but not.
They were all burned.
Yeah, burned at the stake. Yeah,
maybe.
Burned at the stake,
Yeah,
I've had a few visions of that myself, so.
Has been skipped over. Yeah.
So what was like becoming a mother like for you? I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, you've created a business,
written a book,
like, and now all of a sudden you're a young mother.
It's a lot.
Were you like, yeah, how are you doing over there? Are you juggling all the things?
And I think you described like a very difficult time having your child as well.
Yeah, so I had an emergency C-section, which I was definitely upset about. But again, we lean into, thank God I have these tools and the outcome. And, my daughter was healthy, I'm healthy. And, leaning into the bigger picture of like, okay, it is what it is, and I have the tools, we can work through this. And I'm a new mom, so it's like just a wild ride, just a wild ass ride.
Yeah.
It's like, I was telling my husband the other day, I'm like, so I'm 9 months postpartum, I'm like, I actually feel like worse than I did like a couple
right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you're 9 months postpartum.
Yeah, the adrenaline wears off, and you're like, "Whoa!"
You had just told me the other day that you'd had a really difficult time postpartum with Jed. Like it was really
it's
deep,
challenging. It's a
struggle.
it's a spiritual transition. I mean, you rebirth yourself.
Yes.
I think when you give birth to your child, you're also giving birth to your new self, and you don't really have any reference for who this person is, and so. All of those, everyone having their spiritual awakening these days are waking up to this question, who am I?
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing typically happens when you become a mother. You have this sort of spiritual crisis in your life where you're like, who am I? Like, who is this person that's a mother? You've never been a mother before.
No kidding.
So, like, who is that person? How do they relate to being a mother to a child?
Yeah.
And it's like a real maturity and real like kind of birthing yourself, and you're growing up as you're babies growing up too. So I think the more you can like surrender to that process and think like, okay, yeah, I'm stepping into my new powers and my new role and my new identity.
Yeah, and you know what else? I mean, I'm sure this happened for you as well. My intuitive gifts have like skyrocketed. Very cool, very interesting. Started, I mean, I've always kind of gotten like visions in a sense, but now they're like very clear. And the way that I do energy healings and the way that I hold space now is so much deeper and so much more just in tune with kind of setting aside your ego and just really being like, all right, what am I guided to do for the group, like, or this individual? What do they need? And how can I hold this space for them?
Yeah, because there's something about like, I mean, like an ego death that happens, right? You all of a sudden realize like, oh, the whole world doesn't revolve around me. And as mature as you might be, you know, until you have a child, you kind of at some unconscious level are a child and feel like the whole world revolves around you.
Yeah.
Unless you've, you know, are a very blessed soul. And then all of a sudden you have a child and you're like, it's a real slap in the face. Like, oh, hey, what? Guess what? Like, the world doesn't revolve around you. It actually revolves around this little being over here. And you can't fight it and you can't argue against it and you can't, you know, say, but what about me? I mean, you can, but it doesn't matter because
it literally doesn't matter.
Like, you're not the center of the universe anymore.
That's so fascinating because I've often thought of myself as, or I've been called this by the people, like a little Bala Krishna, little baby trickster, and have acted out in the world as a little childish little miscreant my whole life. And then suddenly, you know, we got married and I was a dad to a 5-year-old, and I just haven't been able to shake it. I just keep finding myself being my dad with him. I'm not Russell. I'm not playful. I have to remember, and he knows I'm a playful, cheerful trickster. He knows that about me, but I still find myself just being like stone-faced with him. What are you doing? Clean your room. And like, I feel like the habit of that person, that model, it's just like, it's so very difficult to break out of the frame.
Yeah. Wait, what's your sign? Are you like a Leo or Aries?
Aries, Taurus, cusp.
Okay, I was like, so Aries is very childlike. It's the first of the zodiac signs. So that makes sense where you're like a little trickster, you know, kind of setting things on fire everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His true sidereal astrology sign is Aries.
There we go.
He was actually, the sun was actually in Aries when he was born.
That's so cool.
But as a Taurus, I just like to be at home with very beautiful things like my wife and just like everything just
well,
be
you have a lot of Taurus in your
Love
chart.
Love that earth energy.
Yeah, but when you talk about the ego death and you talk about the death of identity and then you have this child and like you try and be yourself with a child, but it's so hard to be anything but like how like you feel framed into that situation.
The thing is, I think, and I'd love to hear if this happened to you, because I remember this happening to me, and it's kind of like what you're talking about. It's almost like you start to relive a lot of your childhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As your child's growing up and going through stages, like you all of a sudden have memories of things that like songs your parents sang to you or different memories that like you had not thought about and thought were completely gone forever. And you have to do a lot of deep inner healing around your own childhood and thoughts and feelings. It's like you go back in time and you start kind of reliving your own childhood through your child's growing up. And that pattern, like you're talking about, of maybe showing up like your dad, you have to go and heal that relationship and be like, who am I? Like, do I want to be my dad?
Right.
Or am I someone different?
Exactly.
Or do I want to be my mom, or am I someone different in
my
this?
own person? Yeah, I almost find it's like this is the actual like birth. Like when you
Yeah.
when you become a first-time parent and first-time mother especially, like what you were just saying about reliving some childhood things with each stage. And I mean, you have no, like, it's very confronting. You have no choice but to be like, and again, this is where the tools come in and the self-awareness and the willingness, the free will to want to work on that. Which I do, because for me, like I was saying before, how I didn't grow up with that, aspect of like the spirituality and energy medicine and emotional intelligence in that way. Like I have that now for my daughter, which is really cool to be able to actually hold the space for her in that way and like teach her these things. And, she's healing me on such a level that I couldn't even, I couldn't even imagine, which I'm really grateful and blessed because again, our past circumstances doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. And I could have let that, I could have let that halt me from becoming a mother. And I did not. And, thankfully, I got pregnant very easily, very quickly, no problems, great pregnancy. And I'm really grateful for that because we can let these limiting beliefs growing up hinder us from becoming who we want to become, right? Like you were saying, Harmony, do you want to be your dad? Are you like your mom? But no, we're not either. We are our own person, and developing that is kind of the name of the game of life, honestly.
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I think our children are here to help us heal from, like, the misperceptions or the fears or, like some struggles. If you allow that to be part of your medicine, right? Like, it can be, and it is beautiful, and I'm so happy you're having that experience.
Thank you.
Well, I know that we've only got about 5 minutes left. We've got a hard stop coming up, and I'm just wondering, where we can end. What do you want to finish up on here?
Well, why don't you tell people where they can find you, where they can order your book, and come work with you and check out the holistic human healing offerings that you have.
Yeah, so you can find everything on my website, holistichumanperformance.co. You can find me on social media. My personal is at Gena Bradshaw, and then business page is at Holistic HP. Find all the goodies there. You can find my books on there, Amazon, anywhere books are sold. So, yeah, come play. Let's live a thriving life. We deserve it. It's our birthright.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's a beautiful note to go off on. Like, let's all live a thriving life and claim what we're here to be and do and experience and share with the world and with others.
Yes. I could talk to you both for like hours. So,
yeah, I know. I love your work so much. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Can you just tell us what your hat means before you go?
It's a sign for cancer.
It's a what?
Cancer.
It's a cancer sign.
That's
the astrological sign.
Oh, that's the astrological sign for cancer.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool. Yeah. Are you a cancer sign? Or is it because of your childhood?
No, I'm a cancer sign.
What?
Are you ready for this?
No.
How ironic is this? Ready? I am a Cancer sun, Libra moon, Cancer rising. The irony.
Oh.
True.
Little claws got their hooks into you. That's crazy.
I know. I think about it and I'm like, what? Astrology is
amazing. What's your human design?
I am a 3-5 projector. What about you?
In tropical astrology, I'm a 2-4 projector.
Hey, we're both Cancerians, projectors. Like, we're meant to do this work.
Yeah, we have a lot in common.
We have so much in common.
Yeah.
I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. Number 23. Is that where we're going? I don't know. Draymond Green also wears 23. I mean, is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's good. It's
is that
enough.
good? Okay.
We're the mothers of the zodiac.
Definitely.
Fantastic. That was my favorite afternoon cartoon when I was growing up, The Mothers of the Zodiac, followed by Thundar the Barbarian and Thundercats as well.
Such an Aries, I mean, the child.
Right? It's true. It's
It's
100% true. I'm glad you identified that for him. I've been trying to tell him this.
That's immediately when he said that, I was like, the fire is just there.
Yeah. Yep. See, fire energy.
Thank you. Well, I would love to come back. Maybe we could go to temple together. If we're ever in the neighborhood,
if you're in the area.
It's such a great little town.
Yeah.
Tough kids, though. Those kids grow up tough there.
Yeah, my husband, born and raised.
Not a lot of room
Wow.
for woo-woo.
Your daughter's lucky to have you.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, I received that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gena.
Hey, before you jump off, if you're feeling called to explore what deeper healing and self-discovery could look like for you, I'd love to invite you in to a spinal energetics and elemental embodiment session. This experience is designed to help you reconnect with your unique energetic code and the innate intelligence within you that influences how you heal, how you create, how you relate to others, how you feel in your body and in your emotional being, and ultimately how you move through the world, how you grow and transform. Together, we will drop in and you will have the experience of listening to that innate intelligence and wisdom that's held within your body, releasing, unwinding what no longer serves you, and creating the space for greater alignment, vitality, insight, and authenticity to come up into your awareness. If you want to learn more or book a session, you can find all the links in my show notes. I would love to meet you either online or in person. You're also welcome to send me a DM for more information on Instagram at Harmony Slater Official. And until next time, breathe deep and enjoy your life. Find the joy, find the love. And if no one's told you today, I am so very proud of you for showing up for yourself day after day. You're doing such incredible work in the world. I know you are, and I'm here for it. That's it. We've concluded another episode of the Finding Harmony podcast. I just want to thank you so much for doing the work that changes the world, starting with yourself. It truly does make a huge difference. Please make sure you have your automatic downloads turned on wherever you listen so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. I have so much more magic I can't wait to share with you. Lastly, if you're on Instagram, I love connecting and hearing from you. So come on over and say hello at Finding Harmony Podcast. And you can also come say hello to me personally at Harmony Slater Official. Thank you again for being here. I cannot wait to share more with you in our next episode.